We have Putting Green, who is improving all the time. On his seasonal debut, he won over this trip at Lingfield on the all-weather, and this is his first go at handicap company for a mark of 79.
Yeah, I thought 79 was fair, and another one I didn't see any real reason why he shouldn't be effective on turf, on his breeding, and certainly that Lingfield run, first win, the fourth attempt, represents a bit of improvement.
Dartmouth improved on his second start. He's horse number 9. He won at this track over a mile. He's making his seasonal debut and handicap debut from a mark of 78. You would have thought the extra 2 furlongs was got to be a good thing.
I think he'll stay further, won't he? I would have thought he'll stay at least this far, and a bit like the other, the stable companion, he improved a lot first to second run. He's a really interesting runner. He's quite a taking type in the paddock. He's Derby entered. Be interesting to see where he is in the market actually compared with Stravaganti.
Yes, he runs in the colours of Her Majesty the Queen. He's also got a Dante entry and an Irish Derby entry. And finally, we have got Rock Fast, who's making his turf debut. He didn't need to improve to win at Chelmsford City last time, and he starts in handicap company for a mark of 76.
Yeah, quite a tall gelding. He's got to prove that he's as good on the turf as he is on the all-weather. That last win was his best performance today, but it might just be, given his size, he's probably just a horse who's improving.
I thought there was slightly more doubt about the turf for him than the other one that's switching.
Yeah, I've put a few horses here. I put there's no reason not to be. Here's one I put has got to prove he's as effective. So I'm agreeing with you really.
There's Putting Green making his way down to the start for Richard Hannon and Cam Hardy, son of Selkirk, and he is 9-1. There is a real move here on Stravaganti. 7-2 from 7-1. This horse has been really well backed. Jack Hobbs is the even money favourite, but all the rage in the betting media is Stravaganti. 7-2 from 7-1.
It's
quite a marked move, isn't it, for Stravaganti?
Yeah, that's one of the 2 Sir Michael Stout horses. Ryan Moore rides. As I said, all mentioned, he won at Newcastle on his second start. The form itself probably doesn't quite justify 85, but he is pretty certain to be suited by 10 furlongs, and you know, obviously improvement is expected, and given how much he improved first and second run, it's more than possible.
There is Jack Hobbs heading to post behind Pallister. Cricket fans, hence the name, said John Gosden.
One of the absolute greats, Jack Hobbs, the cricketer. I mean, one of the true greats of the sport. I doubt this horse will be as good as he was, but he is, you know, an exciting horse in his own right. He made a really good impression, overcoming trouble to win his debut. Form that has worked out as very good, and it's easy to see that 85 could be a very attractive mark.
He's got the Derby entry and the Dante entry, as Steve has mentioned. This, of course, was the race that Tagruda was set to run in before it became very deep ground this time last year.
Yeah, and he just went on to thrash rivals in the Pretty Polly instead. Might have won the handicap, I think.
And there is Dartmouth. You were asking where he featured in the betting. 3rd in at 8.
Yeah, fair enough, and holding his position. And again, it appears that the Stravaganti is the stable first string today, but on entries, Dartmouth is the one who's got the Derby entry. Certain, you'd imagine, in time to stay that far. And I just like the run of his second run. He won over a mile here in September, and he won in the style of an improving colt, definitely.
Who do you think is going to make the running here?
There's a few. Pallister's a front runner, so I thought that probably would be. Rotherick can be ridden somewhere up there. Putting Green is not far away. Rock Fast isn't far away. I'm hoping this will be, and also given what's happened today, where again lots of horses have been made all throughout, I would imagine there'd be plenty of horses keen to make sure it's a proper pace.
You think so? Putting Green, then, as we've discussed the first 3 at length. Putting Green as well has got a likeable profile. I like the way he's finding steady improvement, and certainly there was plenty of encouragement from seasonal debut.
Definitely, that was his best run to date. That was up to this trip for the first time. It clearly suited him. They're claiming £3 off him with a very competent apprentice, and he represents form now. We know he's in form. He hasn't got to prove anything.
Pallister is a 14-1 shot. As you've mentioned, the stamina on the dam side. She won the Yorkshire Oaks. The stamina up to 2 miles on that side of the pedigree.
Yeah, I think she'll stay. She's another Mark Johnson to Charlie Appleby. Mark Johnson to Charlie Appleby prospects. A horse who used to like being ridden from the front last year, but a lot of Mark Johnson's horses do. It'll be interesting to see if it's ridden the same way.
And then I quite like Rotherick, I must admit. I liked him last season. I thought he really finished quite strongly, and I liked the stamina that he's shown. I think he can still win races.
Well, he's got a very good attitude. A few of his races he won by responding generously to being ridden. I think he needs more, because he's off a career high mark, so he clearly does need more, but it's not impossible.
So, final show of betting. Jack Hobbs, 10 to 11 favourite. Stravaganti has had that real move in from 7 to 1 to 7 to 2. Putting Green is 9 to 1. We can show you a full show in a moment. It was just a brief flash of Perth there. Stravaganti now 4 to 1 from 7s. 10 to 11, Jack Hobbs has returned to. Putting Green 9s from 8s, such 10s. Dartmouth 9s from 8s. On the drift, Pallister at to 14s from 10s, and no movement, Rotherick and above. So for the final time, I think we can go and join John Hunt with our thanks for what has been an excellent and really interesting day of flat racing here at Sandown, John.
It's been great, hasn't it? Real strong change of emphasis tomorrow, but what a day that promises to be as well. So best of luck in the last. How interesting is it going to be to see how good Jack Hobbs is? He was slowly away at Wolverhampton, remember? Be fascinating to see how much he's learnt. The last one in then will be Rock Fast, and then the Bet365 handicap can get underway. 1.25 miles the start once again. Almost there. Rock Fast in. We're ready. And they're off and racing, and they all jumped pretty evenly out of the gates, including Jack Hobbs, who is nicely positioned, very close up with the leaders, who include Rothwick and also Pallister. And Jack Hobbs is right with them indeed. Dettori just has to take him back slightly alongside Dartmouth and also Putting Green, who are others well away. Then slightly worse than mid-division, the likes of Shalimar and Stravaganti. 1.5 lengths to Prince of Paris, and Rock Fast is the back marker as they complete the first 2 furlongs of this Bet365 handicap. Rothwick then with the advantage. Putting Green second, Pallister is third, but close up on their outside is Jack Hobbs. Jack Hobbs going widest of all. Stravaganti's going the shortest way in behind Putting Green. They're both tracking Rothwick on the rail. Dartmouth in mid-division, and then further back Prince of Paris. Tracking Jack Hobbs towards the outside is Shalimar, and the back marker Rock Fast watches on from rear. So they head then towards the end of the back straight, and racing quite wide apart, the 2 leaders are Rothwick and now the market leader Jack Hobbs, just a neck off the pace. Third position for Pallister as they begin the turn for home. Then comes Shalimar towards the outside. And there Stravaganti was ill at ease round that bend, and Stravaganti is now some 5 to 6 lengths off the front too. Dartmouth's well in touch with Putting Green on the wide outside. That is Prince of Paris. Stravaganti second last now, and Rock Fast is the back marker. So they race uphill. Final 3 furlongs now of the race. Rothwick with Jack Hobbs poised. There can be no excuses from here for the market leader Jack Hobbs. He's now sidling alongside but the long-time leader Rothwick. In behind, they're all pushing and shoving along together with Pallister. We've got Putting Green. Stravaganti is doing some good late work, but the bird may have flown ahead of him here. Down the outside is Dartmouth, and now they power on to the final furlong, and hitting the furlong marker Jack Hobbs is careering away. He was well treated. He looks absolutely different class to these. Jack Hobbs on only his second start. He could have a massive future. What a day for Dettori. 4 up for the popular Italian. He's won easily by 7 or 8 lengths. Rothwick, I think, just held Stravaganti for second place. In behind those, Putting Green and Dartmouth. But that was a 1-horse race. Jack Hobbs sends us home happy.
Jack Hobbs, now the 8 to 11 favourite for the Epsom Derby, coming up in June. Has absolutely bolted up Jack Hobbs. John Gosden and Frankie Dettori, a red letter day for the pair of them. And that was so impressive. Lydia and Steve will dissect that surely, but we've got to get over to Perth for the next race on their card. Over 3 miles, 3 furlongs. Wow. We knew it was going to be a good day at Sandown. It has delivered, and it's rounded off in fine style. That was so impressive. Need to catch our breath. But we've got to get over to Perth for the 450, where Son of Susie is the 11 to 4 favourite. Leave It Be 3 to 1. All the Gear, No Idea 9 to 2. 5 to 1 Lost Nardis, Jaunty Journey 9 to 1, Conjola 12s, What a Steal 16 to 1. Wow, Jack Hobbs.
Son of Susie, your favourite here, tackling this longer trip of 3 miles, 3 furlongs. Fergal O'Brien, the trainer, in attendance. Conor Schumacher rides. He's won from 5 over hurdles, this grey, including a 10-length second on soft ground over 3 miles 1 at Carlisle last time. Prior to that, he was 4th at Chepstow over 2.5 miles in heavy ground. You just wonder if the ground is drying out too much for Son of Susie, who's currently the favourite. Neil Mulholland, he'd his first ever runner at Perth earlier on at the festival, and Leave It Be has got winning form. If you go back to Newbury in February, he's gone up £9 for that, and there was no explanation for a poor effort when finishing 6 at Bangor last time. So Graham, maybe the ground, the question mark for the favourite?
Leave It Be, or
Son of Susie?
No, I wouldn't have thought so. I don't think there's any excuse to be had on this ground. It's good to soft ground with a fair bit of moisture in it. Son of Susie has only had 5 hurdles runs. 4th at Chepstow on deep ground, 2nd at Carlisle on soft. But this is not sound surface ground in my view. As regards Leave It Be, well, if you prepared to forgive a dull performance at Bangor when he was well beaten, his Newbury run in a veterans race, bizarrely, he was a novice and very lightly raced, but he won that quite tidily. But I don't know what went wrong at Bangor. All the gear, No Idea, was very one-paced. Went 4th at Stratford. Jaunty Journey is very lazy. A rum contest, 3 miles 3 for conditionals. Tactics could be important here.
They're at the 2 mile start, which is also the 3 mile 3 start. Here's Gareth with an ultimate race of the Perth Festival.
Thank you, Gordy. You're not going to be too much longer here. Starter is on his rostrum, flag is raised. Runners are walking in. They're off. Racing for the Saltire Stables at Perth Racecourse. Conditional Jockeys Handicap Hurdle. Again, a long way to go here. 3 miles, 3 furlongs ahead of them this time. And 13 to jump. Los Nardis straight into the lead. That's usually his way, and he flicks up and over the opening flight with about a 1-length advantage over Conjola in the yellow silks, who races a close enough second. Then Jaunty Journey on the outside with a couple of lengths in hand over Leave It Be. Then What a Steel positioned a little wide of Son of Susie as they swing on into the home straight for the first time, and held up in last place is All the Gear, No Idea. So galloping back towards us for the first time. Los Nardis out in the lead here, seeking a 5th course win here at Perth. He really does have a bit of a love affair with the place. Los Nardis 2 lengths ahead there to Conjola, and then away to the right is Jaunty Journey. Jaunty Journey, who's finished at second